Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Night Crew, where you hear all your local national news and get the facts. So, welcome. My great team is with us tonight. Welcome, everybody. Good to see your smiling faces. And
Hi,
thank
Steve.
you for tuning in tonight. So, we got a lot going on in the news, huh? Keeps getting crazier and crazier. And right when you can't think it can't get any crazier, it does. All righty, the first one, aid flights arriving in Egypt for Gaza. Aid flights have been arriving in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula with relief supplies for Gaza amid diplomatic efforts to open humanitarian corridors into the besieged Palestinian enclave. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said during a tour of the region that the U.S. was seeking agreement on establishing aid routes and safe zones. But by Saturday night, there was still no agreement on how to bring aid to the 2 million Palestinians under bombardment. As Israel laid the ground for an invasion of Gaza a week after a Hamas attack, in which 1,300 Israelis and foreign nationals, mostly civilians, were murdered. Blinken said he was also trying to ensure the conflict did not spread. On the day, Iran's foreign minister warned that Israel would suffer an earthquake if his country's ally, the Hezbollah movement in Lebanon, became involved. So there's a little over 2 million people in Gaza, and they're telling them, everybody in the northern part to move south or get over the border if they can. But the only way they can get out of Gaza is into Egypt. And Egypt has not opened the gate so they can come through yet. So they really don't have anywhere to go. They're just trapped. So Blinken is trying to get other countries to get involved, trying to get Egypt to open up the border there so they can come across. And it is still a mess, and people are still dying. And that's sad. So who wants to go first to jump on this topic? Go ahead, Bob.
Well, Iran has been bad news for, it seems like, since I can remember. You know, that those mullahs over there, they want to destroy Israel. They want to destroy America. They consider us the great Satan. And, you know, they've been trying to get nuclear weapons now for a long time. And the worst thing that you could do is give them the money to do it. And that's what we've been doing. I don't know why, but they just don't have good intentions. So we need to stop funding them, and we need to see if we can get some sort of a change in government over there. And if that happens, then things may calm down in the Middle East.
Yeah. But I'm more concerned about the border being open, between Gaza and Egypt. That's the big deal. Nobody can leave unless they open that border.
Yeah.
What do you think, Angela?
So the problem is they won't open up the border. Why won't they open up the border?
Well, that's a good question. There was some kind of agreement made several years back that they promised they would not open the border unless Israel gave them permission. So I imagine that has something to do with it. It's a real touchy issue. Israel is telling them to get out, but they won't let them out. So I don't know. It's ugly.
It makes no sense.
Exactly.
It's a fight. So they're trying to get aid there. They're trying to get food.
Yeah, various countries, including the United States, are trying to get some kind of food and medical help. There's hospitals in Gaza. People are dying, and Israel has shut off all the medicine, all the food, electricity, water, and everything. So people there are really suffering. And, you know, a small minority
So
of
what's
people,
wrong with them?
a small minority of them.
Why they can't use the Air Force?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Why won't the Air Force get involved? Why don't they use their air power and drop in if they can't get in through the border? I mean, that's if they really want to get in, there's a way to get in.
I don't know if they have that anything left to do that. I don't know. But I'm talking about the ordinary citizens, not the military. The ordinary citizens in Gaza are trying to get out to escape, and they can't get out. Yeah. Well, what do you think, Tamara?
I don't know. I said, gotta keep praying.
Well, it's weird because I'm looking at the map of Gaza, and Gaza is more north and is more towards like the north of Israel. It's not even near Egypt. Egypt is like down south of Israel, so they will have to go forward just to get the help. I'm looking at they're right by the Mediterranean Sea. It's like if somebody gonna really help them, they can go get some ships and boats and meet them right there on the edge and help them. Like, why give it to Egypt knowing that Gaza is way up north? They will have to travel so far down to get the help. It's like here go your food. You know you're showing it to them, but you know you're not gonna help them in the first place. I mean, why do that? You know where they at. You know where they located at. We are modern times. Everybody got boats. Everybody got ships. So it don't make no sense to send aid to Egypt when they right by the ocean. They right by the sea, right here by the sea. Just bring boats right there. Matter of fact, if you really want to help, load them up on the boats and send them to a safe place. But to put stuff in Egypt and then say, okay, get there, you want them to die. It just don't make no sense to me.
Now, Gaza borders Egypt. Gaza is on the southern part of Israel. It borders Egypt. You're probably thinking about Gaza City, which is part of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Gaza extends way down to the border of Egypt. You're probably looking at Gaza City. It's up in the northern part of the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, I'm looking at the north part, and they right on the edge of the Mediterranean Sea. So I'm like this: get some boats and put them on the boats.
That's a good point. I don't know if anybody has thought of that or not. Well, surely they have, but I don't know why they don't do that. That's a good question.
It's almost like there's something preventing them from getting there because this looks almost too easy. Like the way I'm looking at it, just like you, Tamala, it's not adding up unless it's just something is blocked or they have to have some sort of agreement to enter there or something.
It could be. It could be everybody has to have Israel's permission to do it. I don't know. But the United States and Israel are so tight, you know. Biden's not going to do anything unless Netanyahu wants him to do it.
Mm. It's just weird. How did the aid get to Egypt anyway? I mean, it just don't make no sense. It don't make any sense to me.
It's hard to make sense out of it. It really is. Yeah, and Iran, you know, is talking about maybe they might get involved and other countries may get involved. So it could get a lot worse. It can get a lot worse. All righty, let's see what's next. Israeli shipping tycoon and wife stepped down from Harvard board. Aden Ofer, who is an Israeli shipping tycoon with a multi-billion-dollar fortune, and his wife, Badia, have stepped down from their roles as board members at Harvard's Kennedy School. And their resignation comes in protest of what they perceive as the university's lukewarm response to a letter from student organizations. This letter placed full blame on the Israeli government for the recent attack by Hamas operatives, which killed over 1,000 people. Their primary reason for dissatisfaction was the delayed and lackluster response from the university's president, Claudine Gay. According to Hebrew language news site The Marker, the couple said that they quit the board in protest of the shocking and insensitive response by the president of the university, who did not condemn the letter by student organizations that blamed Israel for the massacre. The New York Post reported that Claudine Gay has come under fire from Harvard alumni, including former school president Larry Summers, who decried the delayed statement from her office in response to the student letter. You know, there's been a lot of protests all over the world because a lot of people are taking sides with the Palestinian people and think that Israel is now doing the same thing that Hamas did. You know, they're killing innocent people and by the thousands. And, you know, it's a lot of people are taking sides. And just like with a lot of things in politics, you're on the wrong side, you're automatically thought of as the enemy by anybody who has an opposing view. So, what do you think about that one? Angel, you want to go first?
I mean, I think they have the right to be upset. I definitely think that she could have addressed, they weren't the only ones that saw how she responded to that as inappropriate or just not enough sympathy or empathy or whatever. I think she could have done it wrong, and I see the point in them taking a stand. I mean, that's definitely something I would do if somebody were doing something I didn't stand for. So, I wish she would have readdressed it and maybe, you know, made a statement or, you know, an apology, a public apology or something, but I don't
You
know.
mean the school president?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This guy's a multi-billionaire. He should have a whole lot of pull at the university, you know, you'd think.
I mean, just to get an apology? I don't know.
Oh, well.
It doesn't seem like she's worried for some reason.
Yeah. What do you think, Tamla?
It's easy for everybody to put the little 2 cents in when they don't know the history of Israel and Hamas and why they fighting and all that stuff. And it's easy to take sides, but they know for a fact if somebody walk up to you and slap in your face a couple of times, you're not going to just stand there and let them keep on slapping you. You're either going to fight back or run. And so Hamas is the one who started the fight. They started the war on Saturday. So it's like people got amnesia. They started a war, so Israel supposed to just stand there? No, they're going to fight back. They say you started, and you know, when you're in a street fight, you start something, I'll finish it. So, I mean, it's crazy, but it's like they don't want Israel to stand up for themselves. It's just like a victim. You see somebody walking down the street minding their own business, and you see them getting beat up, then you get mad because they get up and start beating the person who started the fight. Israel didn't start this. They was trying to celebrate 50 years of freedom, and so it's ridiculous how people want to just go off on Israel. But I'm like this: when it comes to all the Palestinians, all of them are not standing for each other. They at odds with each other right now, and they haven't even ran to their rescue yet to fight against Israel. So I'm looking at that. So it's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's complicated. Angela, what do you think?
Well, I agree with Apostle. You know, we always have our 2 cents and don't know the history, but I'm like her. I can't keep sitting there and let you slap. You know, there's a lot of us need to stand up for ourselves, and if a lot of us stood up for ourselves, we'd have to keep coming to our aid. People won't have to keep coming to our aid. And we always depending on the next person to come bail us out. Yeah.
All righty. Bob?
This is a strange story. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, these problems between Palestine and Israel are nothing new. Why didn't why did it take this for them to resign? I don't know. Why were they there in the first place? I mean, knowing how the other people feel, I'm sure that they knew what their opinions were and all this stuff. I don't know. It's just a weird story to me, and you know, I don't know. People, like they say, they want to tend to blame Israel for all this stuff, but I know that Palestinians and all kinds of Muslims work and play in Israel, but yet Israelis are not welcome in their lands to do the same. So I don't know. The story is a strange story to me.
Yeah. And just like we were talking last time, the whole ordeal between the Israelis and the Palestinians have been going on for centuries. You know, it ain't likely to stop anytime soon.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything else on that one? All righty. What's next on the agenda? Okay, 2-year legal battle finally ends for DeSantis. A courtroom settlement over withheld COVID-19 data that critics say cost thousands of lives has deflated Ron DeSantis' campaign trail persona as a courageous freedom warrior who kept his state open during a deadly peak of the pandemic. The settlement ends a 2-year legal battle between the DeSantis administration and the coalition of Democrats, open government advocates, and media outlets that began in June 2021 when the Florida Health Department ended daily updates of COVID cases, deaths, and vaccinations on its online dashboard. The Florida Department of Health will pay the plaintiffs $152,000 legal bill and resume regular posting of the data that DeSantis' communications team insisted at the time was no longer necessary because cases had significantly decreased and that Florida was returning to normal. In reality, as DeSantis dismissed reporting on the pandemic as media hysteria, the Delta variant of the virus was just taking hold. and cases and fatalities spiked to a record 385 a day in Florida by September 2021. So this was back when DeSantis was saying that the COVID scare was over. It wasn't really a big deal anymore. So the Florida Department of Health stopped giving daily reports, and there was a lawsuit and they lost. So now the Florida Department of Health has to pay $152,000 legal bill. Bob, this is in your neighborhood, brother, so I'm gonna let you go first on this.
All right. I've been really disappointed with DeSantis. I don't think he should have ever run for president. There were too many things going on here that needed his attention, and he pretty much abandoned the state to run a lousy, failing campaign that he never had any chance of winning in the first place.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready for prime time, and it totally showed in his campaign. And he should, if it wasn't for Trump, he wouldn't even been the governor. And he went in there and took him on head on to try to steal the nomination from him. And it was a political mistake, and I don't know if he's going to recover from it.
I'd say you're right. He probably won't, because he's made a big fool of himself, hasn't he?
Yeah. He let a lot of the maybe get to his head a little bit, and he got ahead of himself. He should have never have run.
Yeah.
I don't think the people here in Florida are going to forget it either.
I'd say you won't.
And some of the stuff that some of these decisions he's made with COVID and stuff, I think he sided with the hospitals where they couldn't be sued for different things. I'm sketchy on the details, but I know it was an against the people type of thing. So, I'm very disappointed with him.
Yeah.
And we have some of the highest insurance rates in the country, and the electric bills here are way higher than the national average. Things needed here fixing that he hasn't addressed.
Yeah. Is this his first term or second?
First.
Oh, okay. And
Nobody even knew who he was, and Trump endorsed him, and because of Trump, I think it won him the governorship, and then he didn't even serve his first full term, and then tried to run for president and failed.
yeah.
He should have never have done that.
You think he's going to give up anytime soon?
Yeah, I think so. His campaign just doesn't have any money, and it doesn't have any support. I mean, it was just a disaster from the start.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Mm-hmm.
Angel, what do you think?
I mean, I'm
And I
happy about
definitely
it because
because that he's definitely in a disaster.
Yeah. Okay. Tamara?
I'm telling you, it's sad how if United States is watching this man is supposed to be educated. He's supposed to know the law. He's supposed to know the different categories and what's going on. And every time he opens his mouth, it's like, wow, did he actually say that? Like what's really going on? And then when it comes to this COVID, I just wish everybody would just be honest with the COVID, because COVID been out for a while. And I know I had COVID in 2019 and they didn't say anything until 2020, because both my husband and I, we went to the emergency and they said, we don't know what's wrong with y'all. They couldn't tell us what was wrong with us, but we had all different kind of symptoms of COVID. And then when 2020 came and they was talking about all the symptoms, we had all that, but we had it in 2019. We was in emergency. So COVID been out. the sad part is no one's being honest. No one's saying, take this so you can be healthy. And then when people did go to the hospital, some people, they had colds. They didn't even have COVID, but they said they lied to the people and told them they had COVID. COVID is a hot mess, and they use COVID to make a whole bunch of money. And people getting sued for this and legal bill, all that stuff. I'm like this. They need to pay everybody's mortgage and rent for a whole year for lying to us about COVID. Just take care of us for a whole year. We won't have to pay no bills because y'all lied to us about COVID, and they still not telling us the truth. And all this suing here, suing that, for what? Who's benefiting from it? Because we still don't know the truth about it. We still don't know what's going on. They still not telling us what to do and how to do. So right here, you're taking these people to court, and because what he said, she said, and all that stuff. But what about the people? We still need to know what's going on. So that's how I feel about this case right here.
Yeah. Yeah, we know the big pharmaceutical companies are making a killing off of it, don't we? No surprise there. Angela?
Well, you're definitely right about that. Them pharmaceuticals are making a killing off COVID. Of course, there are probably a lot of people lying for things. He's a mess altogether. He's a mess of what he's doing down there in Florida. But yeah.
All righty. Angel, did I get you yet, or did I skip you?
I think it was skipped, but I never liked him from the beginning, so I have nothing good to say about him. I'm from Pensacola, so he's just not my fan. So I'm actually kind of glad that this didn't go in his favor. Now I just need Disney to not go in his favor. Okay.
Sounds like you agree with Bob. Get rid of him. All right. Okay, what's next? Okay, we're back to Menendez. Did Menendez conspire to act as an agent of a foreign government? On Friday, 22 September, as Washington geared up for the weekend, a storm erupted. The U.S. Attorney General released a 39-page indictment accusing Senator Bob Menendez and his wife Nadine and 3 others of involvement in a bribery scheme. The charges alleged that they allowed Egyptian officials to gain illegitimate access to key figures in U.S. foreign policy. On Thursday, federal prosecutors in New York accused Menendez of conspiring to act as an agent of a foreign government. Menendez is accused of using his influence as the Senate Foreign Relations Committee chairman to favor Egypt, facilitating U.S. military aid and advocating for issues like the Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. He's also accused of pressuring officials to ignore anti-competitive practices by the firm Aseg Halal, the sole company authorized by Egypt to review American beef exporters, and in providing sensitive information about employees at the U.S. Embassy in Cairo that could endanger their lives. Following the indictment, key members of Congress have been weighing whether to delay $235 million in military aid to Cairo as punishment for Egypt's alleged involvement in this corruption and for Egypt's failure to demonstrate consistent progress in releasing detainees and improving its human rights record. This has placed a renewed strain on Egyptian-American relations. U.S. law requires that military deals be approved by the president or a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, underscoring the regime's strategic aim to influence Congress through Menendez. So this guy just keeps getting in more and more trouble as time goes on, and he's obviously corrupt, and it's getting really, really messy for him. So I imagine it probably won't be long before he's going to be in court and maybe being in some really, really bad trouble, worse than he's in now. So, what do you think, Tamala?
The United States is the only country that I know that allows spies to just take their time and say what they say and do what they do. Other countries, if they found out you did something, you get arrested so quick, and because they already have the evidence, they're not going to ask you, well, did you really do that? You know, did you give that information out? They're not going to ask. They're already going to say, we have evidence that you have already did this. But you know this guy has done this. You know his wife has done this. So why keep on asking them the questions when you know they're a spy? You know they gave the information away. It's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like treason too, doesn't it? It does.
Yes.
All right, Angel, what do you think?
I think that it's not surprising that somebody's involved in like something like this, like with our government, because there's constantly so much corruption. So this is not surprising, but definitely something that should be addressed for sure.
Yeah. Kind of sounds like Hunter Biden selling assets to his dad, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Bob?
This guy has been in the papers for, on various charges for years and years, and nothing ever seems to stick. Let's just hope that, finally one of these does.
Yeah.
What else can you say? He's always got something going on, but he always gets away with it.
Must have good lawyers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Angela.
I don't have much to say about that.
All righty. Okay, what's next here? All right, here's an interesting story. Should women be arrested for endangering their fetus? Tennessee, Alabama, and South Carolina lead the nation in arresting and criminally punishing women for allegedly posing a danger to their fetuses, according to a report released by advocacy group Pregnancy Justice. Nationwide, nearly 1,400 people were arrested or subject to disparate bail, sentencing, and probation for conduct related to their pregnancies between 2005 and the Supreme Court decision in June 2022 dismantling abortion rights, the report found. The vast majority were poor white women, though poor black women were disproportionately represented. Tennessee accounted for 131 of those cases. Pregnant people have been criminalized at an accelerating rate for actions that would not be illegal but for a person's pregnancy. Lourdes Rivera, president of Pregnancy Justice, told reporters on Tuesday. This is really a sticky situation. I mean, I hate to see people abuse babies. I hate whether they've been born or haven't been born. But I also have never been pregnant, so I don't know what I would do if I was in some kind of situation like that. So it's sticky. So I've spoken for
Well,
Tennessee.
I say this.
Go ahead.
There's been a lot of cases where babies have been born addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, and cases like that. I think that charges need to be brought against the mother, because if you know that you're pregnant, then you should take better care of yourself, because when you find out you're pregnant, it's not about you no more. It's about that child. Yeah, I believe that they should be punished, that they should get charged. Now, when you know better, you do better. And if you know you're pregnant, then you know you shouldn't be doing drugs. You shouldn't be doing nothing that is going to cause that baby to have to endure unnecessary trauma.
Yeah, I agree. Angel?
I have a very strong opinion on this one, only because in my career, I've seen a lot. So I've seen everything from attending a forced abortion in an illegal clinic with a mother for crime scene forensic evidence of the fetus, and then all the way to seeing a mother throw her child into traffic because of mental health. So I for sure definitely have a concern, especially with the mistreatment of the fetus, or, just women posing a danger to the fetus with, all together. I have a strong opinion on that just because of what I've seen firsthand. So I definitely agree that something should be done, because too many people are doing it so nonchalantly, like it's like an everyday thing, and there's not enough consequences for the actions.
Yeah. All right, Bob.
Well, I'm pro-life. On this particular issue, I don't have a lot to say about it, but I am pro-life, and I'm definitely for protecting the unborn. That's for sure. I think that's as soon as conception is made, that's a human life, and I'm 100% pro-life.
Me too, brother. Me too. Okay, Tamala.
If family, family is not like how it used to be, but if you know somebody has a mental issue and you know that child is in danger, they need help. And we live in a society, we just don't have the help or the resource. I think we have the resource, we just don't have the help. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, I just want to scream, because when I was pregnant with my children, I was high risk, which means I could have lost my children at any time, because before I had them, I always told that I couldn't have children. So when I got pregnant, it was a shock. So anyway, I had nurses from month 1 all the way to my children turned 2 years old, for each birth, because I was high risk. So I had nurses that come and, checked on me to make sure I was okay, make sure the baby was okay. And when I tell people that, they say, what? I say, yeah. I say, you didn't have that? And everybody wasn't privileged to have that. And it's weird, because is out there. I don't know why, but if you know that the woman is in trouble, whether it's mentally, emotionally, wherever it is, somebody needs to step in and give them some help instead of watching and say, well, you know, they shouldn't have got pregnant. They shouldn't have did this. If you know they need help, give them some help and be there and hold their hand. And I just glad that somebody was there to hold my hand for all 9 months, even after the births, because they know I needed it. I was high risk, but it's sad when I hear stories like this, because you know the baby inside, they don't, you know, they didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask, you know. So I mean, we just have to do better when it comes to women having babies and being pregnant.
Yeah, it's a sad story. I hate to see anybody abusing a child, like I said, born or unborn. You know, it is a person. All right, here we go, and kind of along that same line. Shutting down the brainwashing cult clinics. A liberal New Jersey lawmaker is labeling pro-life pregnancy centers as brainwashing cult clinics and attempting to shut them down. Representative Josh Gottheimer, Democrat from New Jersey, issued a press release claiming the pro-life centers engage in deceptive practices. He says they promote dangerous medical information, fail to provide prenatal care, and aim to brainwash women. Women go to these healthcare hoax clinics thinking they will get real medical help, but instead they are greeted by people with no medical background whose goal is to brainwash women with their own ideological agenda. Gottheimer said in the press release, "We need to do everything we can to shut down these brainwashing cult clinics. We need to stop the fake programming they're pushing." Well, I'd say nobody here on our panel would be too good at these abortion clinics. We'd probably talk everybody out of it. But yeah, these are pro-life centers, and they're trying to get the mothers not to kill their babies. You know, I don't think that's a bad thing. Apparently, some people think that's brainwashing, but sometimes the brains need to be washed, you know. So, what do you think about that? Who wants to go first? Okay, Bob, since you volunteered.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Everybody seems to be pushing their agenda, you know. Just give people the facts, you know, let them make their own decisions. I think Abraham Lincoln said he had confidence in the people to make the decisions unless you give them the facts. I mean, if you give them the facts, they'll make the right decisions for themselves and their families, and instead of trying to control and brainwash everybody. And that seems to be what the norm is today with medical clinics and all this other stuff, you know. Instead of trying to push their agenda, just give the people the facts.
All righty. Angela?
I don't know. I agree with Mr. Bob. Yeah. Present the facts and let people make their own decision.
All righty. Angel?
You know, when they do present those facts, you know, they're going to I will say the facts that, you know, are typically given to a mom or somebody that's pregnant, the facts on each side of these are not visual facts of what actually takes place. And I don't think that's fair. I think in order to give somebody a fair analysis of, you know, keeping the baby or not keeping the baby, I think they have to, I think they need to see that visual part. Just being in that clinic one time and seeing that baby ripped out of that young 16-year-old with like a shot back, and then seeing the baby cut up into a million little pieces with a butcher knife. Let's play that visual to a whole lot more people, and I think there might be a different outlook than just, well, these are the pros and cons. If you keep the baby this, if you don't this, you know. I think there should be a whole nother side, because people are going into these clinics and they are not prepared. The terrified looks that I've seen on those faces, they had no idea what they were stepping into. And what we're doing right now is just not good enough.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Tamala.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible to show someone, to show a baby being cut up in pieces in front of somebody. That is so horrible. And to do that, I guess you trying to tell the woman, if you do this, this is what's gonna happen to the baby, and it causes that woman to don't want to have any more children, because that's trauma. That's a lot of trauma. Maybe they thought you was gonna take the baby to a different room and take the baby out, or when the baby did come out, the baby was gonna come out dead. But I don't know. But to hear that and to hear what happens, that's a lot of trauma. Just hearing it is trauma. So to see it, my Lord Jesus. I remember some people had told me they got an abortion, and they was telling me how the doctor, you know, ripped the baby in different pieces in front of them. And I was like, they let you see it? You know, it's like, my God, you know, and it's horrible, because just hearing it is horrible, but to see it, man. And I don't think a lot of people understand that or can comprehend that. And like Bob said, just give them the facts and let them decide, because, and I know some people, they get an abortion because maybe it was rape, you know, by a family member, you know, stuff like that. And they don't want to see that situation in their face over and over and over again. And I think about the different cases that I have, like, you know how you be watching all these little shows, how, oh, my mom put me up for adoption, and then they find their parents, Mom, why you put me up for adoption? Then the mom tell them why they, you know, and then the child was mad. Well, come on now, you're alive, you know. Don't get mad at her because she put you up. She put you up because she was raped. Something happened. So it's like, it's not a win-win situation no matter what, because the women always get blamed. They get blamed for everything, whether you do it or not, you know?
In the clinic that I worked in previously, when we did sexual assault exams, we gave them the next day after, you know, the pill for the next day after, or within a certain amount of hours, so that they would not, before the baby had a chance to even really, you know, get on in there, so that they would not get pregnancy or have a pregnancy. But we also were very truthful about that process, because I don't know. I try to be truthful about it only because when they got in there, I mean, the way that girl squeezed my hand, because her mother forced her to have an abortion because she wanted that evidence to pin it on that guy. That's all the mama wanted. I want him to pay for this. And so the way she squeezed my hand and just a terrified look in her eyes, and the doctor, he was yelling at her and he was like, if you wouldn't have been all in the streets, this would have never happened. Like, I mean, when people are going through things like that, they're not really processing. Let me find a safe place where I can have this done, or like some people, they end up in these shoddy clinics that are just, gosh, I almost passed out. Like they had to bring me the smelling salt because I was just like, what? The way that the nurse was just so nonchalant, like she was just cool, like this was every day.
No.
Not a care in the world for those women at all. It was like a money pit. Like, you come and you pay for it and you keep it moving. So I just want everybody to know, because even her mom wouldn't go in there and hold her hand. And I did, because I just could not let her go in there and do that by herself. I just couldn't. My heart wouldn't let me do that. So.
Yeah, I don't think I could. Does this kind of sound in a way like the Holocaust to anybody? Yeah, does to me. All righty. Well, we've covered all of our topics. I got an update from Kentucky Guy's daughter a few minutes before we came on air, and she said there hasn't been any change since Friday. And Friday he wasn't doing too good. So it's a very serious thing, apparently.
And what happened? You still don't know what it was?
Yeah, it's he's got MRSA pneumonia.
Oh no.
That's really, really bad.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's been in ICU for 2 weeks already, and it sounds like it could go either way.
Wow. Is he vaccinated, do you know?
I mean, for pneumonia or COVID? For pneumonia?
For COVID.
Oh, for COVID? I don't know. I don't think so.
I thought at one point he said he was
Oh, okay.
during one of our little.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't have any
That
bearing
seems-
on pneumonia, does it?
Well, I don't know. Mary Lou Retton, the gymnast, has some sort of a pneumonia also. And she's young, too. She's only in her 50s. I had a guy that I know that was in the hospital for like 5 weeks, with some sort of a pneumonia as well. I mean, this guy's in his 70s, but still, I don't know. Too many strange things like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we just have to keep praying for him. Hope he makes it back with us.
Yeah.
All righty. We've come to our plugging whatever got going on segment. So who wants to go first? Pamela, you want to go first on this?
Okie dokie. I have a podcast and my ministry is called Come Home, Stop Talking About It. So you just type that in and you will see my podcast and you will see me preaching. Also, I'm an author of various books on Amazon. I'm a gospel songwriter and have one single out. And I love to travel. So if anybody want a traveling buddy and you pay for it, I'll go with you. But I'm excited to be here and thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
Always good to have you. Thanks. Angel?
My Fatal Attraction episode, I'm a forensic expert on the show Fatal Attraction. It comes on Monday, so you gotta watch it Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be on TV. And then I just launched a new business. It's called The Genius Mindset. And it's where I'm kind of like a business coach, and I go in and help people in different areas of their business where they want to succeed.
Is that what you're going to mail me?
Yes, the magazine. My magazine is coming out the end of November, and it goes along with the business, the Genius Mindset, and it just kind of gives you different types of business tips, whether you're a small business or in the corporate business world.
Okay. So can I become a millionaire now after I read that?
I hope so, if you use some of the tips.
Angela?
So I am Angela Thomas Smith, affectionately known as the Queen of Collaboration. I am the visionary behind the Crew Podcast and Network. And I am the founder of Aspiring Authors Magazine, where I just like to bring people together to connect, to network, to partner. I truly believe that we are the change that we desire to see in this world. And I use my life coaching to push people in to understand their purpose. So if you would like to support me, follow me, check out some of the things that I'm doing. I'm an author, again, podcaster, speaker, you name it. I do it. I wear many hats. Just want to be the change that I desire to see in this world. You can go over to Linktree, things that I do. Again, I thank you, Mr. Steve, for allowing us this opportunity to be a part of this amazing podcast. Thank you.
Glad to have you. Bob?
Yeah, that goes for me too, Steve. Thanks a lot. It's a lot of work, I know, and we appreciate you.
Right.
I've got a book out there in case anybody likes to read about the oceans and about fish tales and wants to hear stories of adventure. It's called A Flicker in the Water, and it's good for kids too. It's good for kids who can learn about the sea and the fish, and who can learn about what the oceans mean to mankind, and what God's meaning is for our oceans. My website is flickerinthewater.com, and there's a lot of cool stuff on there if you want to go look at it.
All right, good deal. So we got our own very talented and creative panel, don't we? That's good. All right, I hope you all have a great week. And take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and everybody watching, thanks for tuning in to the Night Crew. We're always glad you're here. Wish you have a great week, and until next time, everybody just stay blessed.
God bless.
Good night.
Bye.